Okay, so we are going live. Okay, so on behalf of Iskcon Seshadripuram JSS, I would like to welcome all the devotees. So today it's our great fortune to have Ratnakar Prabhuji with us. For everyone. So just a quick introduction about Ratnakar Gauranga Prabhuji. So Prabhuji has done, a master's in marine sciences, and he has been working in various positions for 22 years in UAE. And currently, and Prabhuji received his first initiation in 2000 from Guru Maharaj in Brahman initiation in 2004. And he has done various services, and currently Prabhuji is serving under care of His Holiness Bhakti Vinoda Swami Maharaj, and in the different projects in Coimbatore. So many devotees from at least Bangalore will be knowing Bhakti Vinoda Swami Maharaj. He used to come little regularly for our temple. So we would like to welcome Prabhuji by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you, Akshay Gaurasundar ji, and it's really a great pleasure to be amongst the God brothers and God sisters on this wonderful JSS Sangha from Iskcon Seshadripuram. And I definitely have visited this temple, but only a couple of times, not many times. And that's also many years before. So there is a very little possibility anyone know me or I know anyone in that temple serving. But end of the day, we are all serving to please our Guru Maharaj in different locations and in different capacities. JSS is something very dear to all the disciples of Guru Maharaj, where we always relish and enjoy the nuances of our Guru Maharaj. There are so many subtle things what we can always, everyone can share. And today's session was requested from Prabhuji. Is the camera, audio and video is okay before I go further?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anything is there, please let me know, okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. So I've kept devotees on mute, Prabhuji, so that nobody turns on audio during the session.
Okay. So today we'll try to exchange or share our thoughts about Guru Tattva, and some very exclusive experiences with our dearmost Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, for possibly half an hour approximately. So I thought maybe we can split this into two halves, like, in two sections. Maybe the first section, we will discuss something about how Guru is actually an expansion and how Guru really comes with a lot of, compassion and mercy for the fallen conditioned souls, and then how our Guru Maharaj is being related into that realms of the expansions of Krishna. And then later on in the section 2, we will discuss about some of his, my personal experiences with Guru Maharaj and how that is being related to Krishna's multidimensional, rasas. That's what we are trying to discuss. Okay, is that all right? Yeah? Okay. Let me first offer humble obeisances, respectful obeisances, Guru Maharaj. Namaho Vishnu Padaya Ekshta Prestaya Budale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Nidhi Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayane Gaura Katadamadaya Nagara Gramatane Namaho Vishnu Padaya Ekshta Prestaya Budale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishe Shunyavadi Paschati Deshakarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalum Pangum Langai De Grimit Kripa Tamahamunde Shri Guru Dinataram Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. So I'm not going into the Kirtans now because of the shortage of time. I'm sure you would have already done a Kirtan prior to this program. And we straight away enter into the discussions about Guru and Guru Tattva and Guru Maharaj. So first of all, the studies here, what we are going to discuss is not something new. Most of you might have already gone through that. But it's my duty to just share some of the thoughts. Like, I was pondering after Akash Prabhu was telling me, requesting me about this program. Then I was pondering about what can I really say, because it's a very big topic. It's not a small thing. And that too, to talk about our Guru Maharaj is something next to impossible, at least for me. But what I then thought is, okay, let us just, ponder on what the Shastra say. Like, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the very first chapter itself, the opening statement given by, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, first thing he's saying is, what is that he's saying? Sorry, Krishnath Kaviraj Swami. What he's saying? Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan. So the very first opening itself, it is being said that first my prayers to Guru. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan. So they are actually the devotees of Isha, the Supreme Spiritual Father, the Supreme Lord of the entire universe. Then he's an Isham, Ishavatharakam. Tat Prakashamscha Tat Shaktihi, Krishna Chaitanya Samjnikam. So this we have heard about it several times, or maybe you all read it repeatedly again and again and discussed. But the most important verse that captured me here is basically, the third line, Tat Prakasham Cha Tat Saktihi. So here the glorification is given that, yeah, we all understand Krishna as a Supreme Lord, but who is really functioning here as the Prakasham or the manifestations of the Supreme Lord, and the Prakasha that we can take it into another aspect of understanding. And in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, just like, in the dark, no one can see what is there or what is not there. And it will be very unclear. But someone has to put on the light, and then everything becomes very, very clear. So that we call it Prakasha. Like the sunlight comes, everything becomes clear. And in the night, we are all, struggling to find out what is there. So who is functioning here as this Prakasha? The manifestations of the Supreme Lord. Specifically here, Balarama is addressed as the one who is really providing all the information about Krishna, and he is giving us the light about Krishna. So Prakasham. And after praying obeisances to the one who has given us all the information about Krishna, who is a manifestation of Krishna himself in the form of Balarama and other Vaishnavas. And what happens then? What is the recommendation? Then everybody is paying obeisances to Krishna, who came very recently, around 537 years before, in the Rupa of a devotee, Krishna Chaitanya. What is his name? Samajnika means named as Krishna Chaitanya. So to him, we offer our obeisances. So every time when we pray this one, immediately the one who comes in our mind is, who has given us the prakasha or the light to understand who am I and why I am in this world and what is my real duty, who has given us. And I specifically start thinking about our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Unless he has given us his mercy to understand the realities of this entire manifestations, why we have taken this body and what should be our duty, I'm sure we would not have even, got a glimpse of what we are doing today. Like in Brahma Samhita, there's a very wonderful phrase, Advaitam Achyutam Anadir Ananta Rupam. So Krishna, his expansion is Ananta Rupam, very, very blissful, and he's expanding unlimitedly. And that unlimited sparks of his expansion is so potential and powerful that it can touch everyone in this universe. And that's how living in a place which is a desert country in UAE and in a most wretched condition, Guru Maharaj's spark really it fell on me. I'm sure we all have experienced that in our different types of, materialistic life, how we were wandering in this world. But somehow or other, by the causeless mercy of the devotees, we were able to catch hold or take a glimpse of our Guru Maharaj and surrender it to him. So this is something, unimaginable. So the first expansion of Krishna is Balarama or Baladeva. And, then here in this Kali Yuga, Balarama has expanded as Nityananda. Because Balarama, he is addressed as Nyayam Atma Bale Hinena Labhya. So which means basically no one can understand, because Krishna is sitting in our heart as Paramatma, but that cannot be understood unless one is favored by Balarama. When we favored by Balarama means, here we say, unless and otherwise one is favored by the authorized bona fide spiritual master, who is in our case His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki Jai. So Balarama is Guru Tattva or Nityananda is Guru Tattva, and Nityananda Prabhu is actually a close associate of Krishna. We all have heard it about it several times. That's why every time when we offer our obeisances and prayers to the Panchatattva, we say Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So all the associates are also being glorified and chanted at the same time. Once I read it in one of the articles there, I'm not able to remember their names or whatever, maybe the year also, I don't remember. But it's actually, I think it's possibly around 50 years before, roughly. I'm just getting it, rough thoughts. So in one time, Srila Prabhupada, he visited Bombay along with his disciples. And along with, I think, 4 or 5 disciples, he visited here in India for a big Pandal program there. And that 4 disciples, I think Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was also there. So that time he was not a sannyasi. So he was Jayapataka Prabhu only, and very young and energetic. And Srila Prabhupada has picked him up as one of the, potential persons who can propagate the philosophy of Krishna consciousness into this entire universe, starting within India. And when he was sitting there, I think that time he has visited the house of a member of parliament in Bombay. Guru Maharaj was a very young person and he was sitting in a chair along with Prabhupada. And the purpose of his visit was to get Indian citizenship for a few of his disciples. And that time, the member of parliament, he has asked, he was completely astonished. What, you are bringing a man from USA and you are asking an Indian citizenship for him? Whereas in India, we know that several people are, dying to get an American passport or American citizenship. What is this? I can't understand. It's really mind-boggling. So Prabhupada has said that, you see, that person who is sitting down there, that young man, you do not know about him. He is actually an eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the statement given by Srila Prabhupada. It is there in one of the articles. So this is a personal talk which he had in the house of a member of parliament. So which means when you talk about Nityananda Prabhu, definitely that's expanded here for specifically giving the fallen souls of this universe, fallen souls in India and so many other countries, wherever Guru Maharaj is the GBC, and he's taking care of all their interests there. So now Guru Maharaj has got more than 60,000 plus disciples all over the world. So you can imagine how anyone in the capacity of an associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can perform wonders. So this is our Guru Maharaj. So he's not an ordinary person. This statement has been given directly by Srila Prabhupada himself. It's not by something else here and there. So he is going to, Guru Maharaj said he is going to present Krishna consciousness in India, and particularly he will teach to the Bengali speaking people to begin with. This is what more precisely Srila Prabhupada has told to that, member of parliament. I'm not able to remember his name. And he said that he will make thousands and thousands of disciples. And we can see what Srila Prabhupada has told 50 years before, and today it is a reality. Srila Prabhupada speaks very fluent Bengali, and he started, of course, now his headquarters is in Bengal, in Mayapur. So here how we see the Guru Tattva is expanding. This is just only one dimension we are talking about. So this is a dimension of how he is expanding as Nityananda Prabhu's expansion. And he is once again empowering so many of his disciples to travel all over the world and preach the philosophy of Krishna consciousness as narrated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is a sloka in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 11th canto, which gives us the better understanding of a guru. It's actually a conversation between Krishna and Uddhava, where Uddhava, he asks Krishna to, elaborate on the, four social and spiritual orders. We call it Varnashram Dharma. So that time, what should be, how to understand who will take care of us in this age of Kali Yuga, and what will be the status of the souls if they have to follow this Varnashram Dharma. So that time, Krishna is giving very straightforward answer. Acharyam mam vijaniyan. Navamanyeta karhichite. Na marthya buddhaya suyeta. Sarva deva mayo guruhu. So what is he saying? That Krishna is glorifying that one should know that Acharya as myself. Here Acharya means the spiritual master. See, here is another dimension. We talk about Nityananda Prabhu, who is the Prakasha expansion of Krishna. He is one dimension. And here Krishna is telling, Guru is as good as myself. Very straightforward information. So I never disrespect him in any way. This is a direct instruction to Uddhava by Krishna. So these are all something, which we all have to take it to our heart so closely that at any point of time, whenever we think of something, that is not favorable, immediately this kind of a sloka should come to our heart. And here, when we say never disrespect a guru, means it is not just merely a physical disrespect or a verbal disrespect or not even a mental disrespect. Disrespect can be of various types. One of that is not following the vows what we have given to Guru Maharaj at the time of initiation. And we all know Diksha is a very, very serious process. And it's a serious commitment what we make with our spiritual master. So anyone who, flout away from their promises, or anyone who starts thinking it with a sahaja mentality, that's all right. Guru knows what I'm doing, so it's okay. Only one time, two time I can, stray here and there, but I will compensate with that. No. Here Krishna is saying you should never disrespect him in any way. Very important, in any way. Why? Because he is actually not a normal, ordinary person. He is as good as myself. And Krishna also has said that no one should envy him, thinking him to be an ordinary man. For he is the representative of all the demigods. See how important instruction. This is 11.17, chapter 27. Yeah. So we have to really, imbibe such kind of understanding about our guru, our Guru is not an ordinary person. Externally, he may have so many afflictions of, health issues. He may be not able to speak properly. He may be having so many, inabilities at this point of time. But nevertheless, he is not at all to be considered anyway less than Krishna. Very clear. There is the story. Because there have been sometimes, people keep, criticizing about several things. Putinati, we call it, no? So a spiritual master, we have to understand, he's not an enjoyer of the facilities offered by his disciples. Just because he's, see now for Guru Maharaj, so many are there already servants, so he has no problem. There are so many people to take care of him, feed him, take him to treatment. So sometimes this Kutinati works in the minds of the people. Oh no, he is enjoying, he's having a very jolly good lifetime. No. A spiritual master never enjoys the material comforts offered by his disciples. A spiritual master is only pleased the moment his disciples follow his instructions 100% without any deviation. That is what will make him happy, not anything else. Because he is like a parent actually. He's our own father or mother in the material world. We will never say that, he'll be happy even if I do something nonsense. No, no way. Sometimes the parent may tolerate for a period of time, but ultimately they will become displeased and they will even chastise. Sometimes they have to take a very strong measure to correct the child. So our Guru Maharaj is so compassionate. He has been absorbing so many, shortcomings of his disciples. And all the time he's very compassionate and he's only requesting, please do not commit offenses. Do not break your vows. How many times you sing? Like, every day morning we sing the song by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Shakshad Dhridvena Samasta Sastra. Yuktastata Bhav Yatayeva Sadhi Kintu Prabhu Ya Priya Vatasya Vande Guru Shri Charana. So, Krishna, according to our Vaishnava philosophy, he is as good as Lord Narayana, but not by becoming Narayana himself, but by becoming his most confidential servant. So he's a servant, and that is what he is teaching every one of us. Such a great personality, spiritual masters, they are only, for the benefit of the people in general. They have accepted that position, and such spiritual master is all the time preaching the glories of Narayana. He never said that he is Narayana. He's never said that he has to be, glorified. But we glorify him because we are getting the information about Narayana through the representative of Narayana. So we glorify him. So this is how in our, Gaudiya Vaishnava system, we always, respect our gurus in such a way. So Guru Tattva, he is one of the dimension. He is also displays his quality as Sevya Tattva. Sevya Tattva, Srila Prabhupada mentions, there are several tattvas about Krishna. Jiva Tattva, Guru Tattva, Sevya Tattva, that's the tattva in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared here to give us the, practical example of how we should serve the Supreme Personality of God. Sevya Tattva. Then we have Shakti Tattva, who is Srimati Radharani. So there are several different types of tattvas. And all these kind of tattvas are exhibited by a spiritual master. And who is our spiritual master? His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, Guru Maharaj. And what our Guru Maharaj, all the time he will give us, Bhaje Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga, Laha Gauranga Name. Ye Jana Gauranga, Bhaje Se Pranare. This song, I'm sure you would all have. Guru Maharaj is one of the very, favorite songs. He's been singing this song from whenever I have seen him in my, days in the UAE. I always seen him singing this wonderful song. And he will sing so happily and loudly that you just immerse in his mercy. Gauranga Boliyadu Bahu Tuliya. Nachiya, Nachiya, Badaure. And when he sings this song, he will actually dance. Nachiya, Nachiya, Badaure. Then what is the other thing? And he also says that Gauranga Bhajile, Gauranga Japile, Hoi Dukhena Abasanare. The moment when you sing the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, what happens? When you chant his names, Dukhena Abasanare. Immediately all your miseries and worries, they vanish. And our Guru Maharaj always, he displayed this instruction. Like how Nitya, this is actually a song by Nityananda Prabhu about the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And our Guru Maharaj, he very favorably sings this song, instruct every one of us, chant Hare Krishna, dance Hare Krishna, sing Hare Krishna. Exactly what he has done. So this is a wonderful dimension of our Guru Maharaj, displaying the qualities of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I don't know, despite several of his, challenges in this world, like how Jagai and Matai, they really, what do you call that? They hit Nityananda Prabhu, with the broken pots, and Nityananda Prabhu was bleeding just because he was preaching Krishna consciousness. He was going door to door begging, chant Hare Krishna. So our Guru Maharaj, he was traveling around the world, preaching Krishna consciousness, preaching everybody, please chant Hare Krishna on the orders of his spiritual master, his divine grace, HG Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. But what happened when he was traveling, like in 1989, we all know this incident where our Guru Maharaj was attacked by crazy people like Jagai and Matai. One crazy man who was envious of our Guru Maharaj in Spain, in the Madrid airport, he was really, he slashed his face near the throat area with a knife. He was about to kill him. But like how Nityananda Prabhu overcame all these, struggles, our Guru Maharaj has really, very, very undeterred. Nobody can, stop our Guru Maharaj. He undeterred despite several challenges like this. It's not only these physical challenges, there has been even legal challenges, legal battles. We also know that what happened in your Iskcon Bangalore, which the case is still going on. But Guru Maharaj comes out successfully every single time. Never mind, whatever it happens. So there has been blasphemy by some of the Iskcon members as well as non-members. So many things happen. This is one side of the story. Then in physically, 2008, he got a stroke, cerebral stroke. But does that stop him from performing his service to his spiritual master? No. So what we learn from all these things is our heart, life, and soul must be to serve our spiritual master, which is what is actually being displayed by his own example by our spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. See? So in another section, we can see that. Actually, very honest with you, I cannot even, outline His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj's glories in this short time. This is really next to impossible, actually. Maybe it will take volumes and volumes of books and by someone who has been very, very close to him to write so many glories about him. Like how, no one can glorify Krishna to the fullest satisfaction. And he is a pure representative of Lord Sri Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how can someone can glorify him? It's not possible, So in the past 50 years, can you imagine Guru Maharaj has traveled more than 100 times around the globe, back and forth. More than 100 times. He has got a record, actually. No one has traveled so much like our Guru Maharaj, But many a time what happened, Lord Krishna often uses his pure devotees to set examples in this material world. How, despite all the challenges, one still fixed in Krishna consciousness spreads the glories of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, glories of his spiritual master all over the world. I remember, there are certain pastimes of Krishna I just would like to narrate here to see the different dimensions here. Like, once we have read this in Krishna book. Krishna, when he lifted the Govardhana hill and he was standing there for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and even his mother Yashoda was also there. So many other Gopas and Gopis are standing there. So Krishna, his face was looking little fatigued, it seems. And he was having a little bit of perspiration and he was looking tired. Then immediately Mother Yashoda saw the face of Krishna. She's always looking at Krishna. And then she was feeling, oh, my son is really getting tired. I can really see, how can I help him? He's not, this is not how I can just be here and do nothing. I should do something to make him, once again energetic. Because he's saving so many cowherd boys and girls, and so many cows are here. Somehow I should do something. That's how this, Vatsalya Bhava was being exhibited by Mother Yashoda. And immediately Krishna, what he did? He understands the heart of every single person, every single devotee, every single living entity. So, Krishna immediately, he was making his faces like, different kind of comic faces he was making, as though, he is not really tired. And then he was showing different gestures, like that. He was doing so many things, it seemed. Very nicely, this was told by our Guru Maharaj also. So very nicely he was making this kind of jokes and kind of, funny faces he was making. After seeing all these things, Yashoda Mai, she started perspiring so much in sweat. Oh, what's really going on? How can you do that? She was really similar kind of an experience I have. This is something in 1997, I would say. In 1997, that's the first time I'm meeting our Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj. And this was in Sharjah. He was traveling, I think he was traveling from UK or I don't know. And then he was, towards UK from India. And then he took always, whenever he goes across continents, he will take a break in the Middle East. And that is one very good thing about Middle East. We have an opportunity to associate with our Guru Maharaj as well as other acharyas very often. And he was taking a break there, and he came to my Shiksha Guru, his grace, Rasa Krida Parayana Prabhuji. So he came to his house and we all were there. And it's a very, customary for our Guru Maharaj to give an arrival speech at that point of time when he was not affected by, this stroke. So he was very healthy, and then he was sitting and I saw him. He was so huge, and I was really not able to, think about a guru like this. So he was so huge, and he was sitting in the special big sofa. He came and sat, but of course, when he travels, he always travels in a, karmic clothes like a pant and shirt and with a hat on him. And he just came, he quickly changed his dress to a Vaishnava sannyasi dress. And then he came and sat, garlands were offered. And he was speaking about where he went, what happened over the past, nearly 1 or 2 weeks. He was narrating. This is how I'm sure most of you would have, observed or taken part in his arrival addresses. So he will narrate what happened in a nutshell. But when he was doing that, without his knowledge, he was just closing his eyes and he was dozing off. Because of the tiredness of the travel, hectic travel, he was dozing off. And all the, visitors, the disciples and other, people who were sitting there in that room, we were all feeling so bad. But why we are torturing Guru Maharaj? He's traveled so much and he's not slept properly. And now see, he's not even able to, he's very, everybody is sitting and then it's a bright daylight and he's sitting there and he speaks one line and then suddenly he goes off. And again, he speaks one line. So everybody's heart was, oh, it's very sad to see Guru Maharaj. I think he should go and take some rest. We should do something for him. And so immediately what happened? Someone tried to, fan him, and someone tried to give him some water and everything. So this is the kind of a mood I'm just telling you, like how the Vatsalya Rasa mood Guru Maharaj brought in. But at the same time, after a few seconds, few minutes, Guru Maharaj then immediately started, with his high, loud voice, he was saying, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he says that in a loud way, and then he will take this big kartal, and then you are starting banging, and then he started singing kirtan. Like the entire mood changed. This is something, when I was reading this book from Krishna book, when I was reading this particular, Leela, when Krishna was doing here in the under the Govardhan hill, I could see now, I could relate, how Guru Maharaj is a representative of Krishna, and he is exhibiting something very similar to that. In the Nectar of Nectar of Devotion, we have heard about the 12 rasas. Rupa Goswami explains us very nicely. 5 direct rasas and 7 indirect rasas. And even Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that many times the rasas will be combined together. There are some of the rasas are compatible and some of them are non-compatible. You know that. Okay, anyway, we are not going to go into that subject now. But we can see these various rasas being exhibited in our Guru Maharaj at different points of time, at different levels, As we already know, there are 5 direct rasas, which is, Shanta Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, Sringara Rasa or Madhurya Rasa, we call it, and then Dasya Rasa, and then Shakya Rasa. This is the 5 direct rasas we understand. But apart from that, there are 7 indirect rasas, Raudra. How many of you experienced Raudra from Guru Maharaj? Oh, I have experienced that. It so happened that once in Sharjah, which is called also Shamadesh, very dearly by our Guru Maharaj. So, and I have been living in an apartment. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. All of a sudden, that's just prior to initiation. Imagine, I have no clue about what is Krishna consciousness, what is this and what that. But all of a sudden, my Shiksha Guru, His Grace, Rasa Krida Parayana Prabhu, he said, Guru Maharaj is coming and I want someone to host him. Nothing, we do not know. But I immediately offered, okay, let me offer, I will host. But I do not know what to do, how to do, nothing I don't know. What kind of, service I have to do, no idea. But my Guru, my Siksha Guru, he was very kind enough. Don't worry about that, everything will take care. Another God brother of mine, his name is His Grace, Kanaya Prabhu. Kanaya Prabhu was so enthusiastic. He was appointed as his personal servant. And then once in one of the bedroom was completely dedicated for our Guru Maharaj, and all arrangements were made, everything was nice. Guru Maharaj came and he had a huge luggage. I have never seen that kind of luggage in my life. That was my first time I saw nearly, it's like a 5 feet long carry bag, duffel bag. I've not seen a 5 feet long duffel bag. And that was there with Guru Maharaj. Such a huge duffel bag. And he came, a lot of things was there, so many suitcases. He always, has so many luggages. He brings so many prasadam to everybody. And he was in that room, Guru Maharaj, I could hear some kind of a loud noises. The moment I thought something is going wrong, so I entered inside and he was really so angry at his servant. And he was saying, I'm asking you for this and you are throwing me all other nonsense. And he was so shouting at it. And this Prabhu, Kanaya Giridhari Prabhu, he completely got, baffled. Oh, I don't know. And he's not able to understand what Guru Maharaj is asking. Guru Maharaj was asking one electronic device from his baggage, and he couldn't understand what he is asking for. So this is just one small incident. But I was wondering, Guru Maharaj is so angry. Everyone was scared to go inside the room, what he wants. Then after a few minutes, this my godbrother, Kanaya Giridhari Prabhu, he came out, he was crying and he was not able to even talk. He was completely choked up. And everyone was in a fearful mood. Then after a few minutes, Guru Maharaj came out. You know what he did? This is something very interesting. He immediately comes straight towards Kanaya Giridhari Prabhu and close to his face, he kept his face and stared at him. And Kanaya Giridhari is shivering. He does not know what to do. And all of a sudden, Guru Maharaj, with his huge arms, he just hugged him, and he was a very small figure. He was possibly around 5 feet or something like that, not a very tall personality, and very thin also. Guru Maharaj, he just gulped him like as if, swallowing him. He just lifted him up and then put him up. Hare Krishna! He was just loudly. And I tell you what, that's the kind of an experience with the Guru Maharaj. He is angry at one moment, next moment he brings in the hasya, the comedy, another rasa of Krishna. Immediately he starts laughing and say, come on, let's have kirtan, let's go. What is for, he will say for a moment, next time he say, what is there for the dinner prasadam? He immediately entered into the kitchen there. And there are a lot of Matajis were preparing so many things. What is this? What is that? So many things he will start asking, what is there? What is that? And he is then ready to distribute his daya to everybody, his mercy. He was just ready to distribute everything. So this is the very completely, mind-boggling, activities of our Guru Maharaj. You cannot, even imagine what he will do next. So difficult, so difficult. One time when Krishna, he was there in the, he was tending the cows. And this is another very interesting story. See, I'm just relating from the Krishna stories and how I'm just, connecting to our Guru Maharaj. Once, there are several Gopas of Krishna. You all have. One Gopa, such Gopa is Sridhama. And Sridhama, he was called, challenged by Balarama, come for a fight. And Balarama had a club in his hand, and the Sridhama is having a just normal stick. Imagine the two difference. And who is Balaram? Balaram is the expansion of Krishna. And this Balaram, Krishna knows, everyone knows that he has killed Pralambasura with the same club. So such a powerful person, Balaram. And he is going to fight with who? Sridhama, who is having a stick. And Krishna is sitting and watching. Just like that. And he was just like that, smiling sometimes, and he was curious, he was astonished how, all the various rasas of, Krishna, he's you can see in this particular situation. And he's just astonished. And he's just seeing. And finally, the whole, climax is Sridhama defeats Balarama in the story. So Krishna is just looking at this Sridhama and says, how come he's able to defeat Balaram, who is having a club and who has killed demons? This boy, he's just having an ordinary stick and he's defeating Balaram. Krishna is exhibiting that astonishment. But Krishna, of course, he does that because of to satisfy, and he's pleased with his devotees. I tell you what, similarly, Guru Maharaj once, there was actually a kind of a challenge in the what do you call that, position for a yatra leader. This all happened, I do not want to go into the complication, but let me put it very simple and straight. Okay. So in that system, what happened? There were two groups, and both of them wanted to prove that they are right. Guru Maharaj is sitting there. And so he said, okay, I'm giving you 10 minutes to put forward your arguments, and let me see. He's a judge there. He's just sitting there. And both of them, one side you have senior most devotees, and many of them are seniors and some junior devotees. On the other side, one or two senior devotees and all others are all junior devotees, or in other words, neophytes. This happens and Guru Maharaj is listening, and you know how Guru Maharaj, this has all happened prior to his, cerebral hemorrhage problem, before he became, he was affected by this problem of paralysis and other thing. So he was just sitting down there, how he, and he will just, this side he will turn, this side he will turn, this side he will turn, this side. He was doing, listening to all these things. And sometimes, he will show his teeth like these, he will just show and smile. And then he was just only enjoying, the different arguments put by both of these parties. He was just enjoying. And, I was sitting down there and I was wondering, I don't know why Guru Maharaj is just enjoying. He must be the person who must be saying that, no, this is right. No, you are not. I was expecting him to do that, but he was just, enjoying. And finally, what happened? The argument went in such a way that all the senior devotees were defeated by the majority of the neophyte devotees who were sitting on the other side. And Guru Maharaj was just seeing, wow. And then, immediately what happened? He just threw his garland on the neophyte devotees, and he was so happy to see all this kind of, it's a spiritual competition going on. Guru Maharaj is such a wonderful person. I've seen him exhibit this kind of qualities. at different circumstances in different dimensions. He's not an ordinary person, definitely, for sure. And in another incidents, I would say this is something like, in, I think it's 2010. Yeah, it's in 2010. After he was treated initially for his, the cerebral hemorrhage, then, then he once again visited UAE. And that point of time, I was also one of the servants as a night duty, myself along with my godbrother Brahmanipati Das. So we were both night watchmen or night servants for him. And I was trying to control my sleep. It was really like, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Brahmanipati was very strong. He was not sleeping and he was very, very fully awake. I was awake maybe up till 2:30 in the night, 2:30 or something like that. I got off. I was just lying on the floor and I was just, trying to get some sleep. But just for 10 minutes I would have slept. Then suddenly, Ramnipati woke me up. Come on, get up. Guru Maharaj is making some noise. He was growling, like that. And Guru Maharaj was lying in a huge, king-size bed. It's a huge bed. And he was lying down there. And you only hear some noise. And immediately we do not know what he's asking for, what he's doing there. With a lot of difficulties, we could move Guru Maharaj. How huge he is. You all can understand. With a lot of difficulties, I was very, very, small creature. And Ramanipati, almost like me, we were struggling ourselves. Then we wanted to call for some help, but then everybody is sleeping. We do not want to disturb anybody. That point of time, Guru Maharaj, he was asking for a help to go for nature spa. And we do not know what to do. Then Guru Maharaj, despite all his difficulties, he was giving us instruction on what we should do just only by, sign language. And Krishna Kripa, he made us understand exactly what he wants. It's something, still when I'm talking to you now, I'm not able to, comprehend how that was possible. He did not open his mouth. He was only looking at us and he was only moving his eyeball and some of his, hand gestures. That's all he was doing. But he made us understand exactly what we are supposed to do. That is something, not ordinary. This is definitely not ordinary. This is out of this world. Anyway, I can go on relating in so many, experiences. I'm sure everyone has got a lot of such kind of experiences, particularly, Guru Maharaj's, expression of his Sakya Rasa, of his Hasya Rasa is unending. It also happened like, once in Sharjah, when he came down from the apartment where I was living in, he came down and he just entered into the main road. The moment when he just came out of the building, there were two Pakistani, people. They were from Pakistan, were working in Sharjah. So they just about to cross Guru Maharaj. And immediately Guru Maharaj, when they saw them, and said, Salam Alaikum. Can you imagine our Guru Maharaj? Normally what happens, we were all enthusiastically chanting. Anyone who we see Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, no. He was respecting them. He was respecting their religion. And Guru Maharaj, Salam Alaikum. And he was so compassionate. So that he shook hands with some unknown Pakistani people. What a glorious personality. He never had any borders. He never had any kind of inhibitions to appreciate and then, make everyone his friend. That's why we see in today's, world, people pay a lot of money to, glorify them. Guru Maharaj does not require any of this. Wherever he goes, the crowds get attracted towards him like the honeybees getting attracted to the honey, or like the ants going towards any sweet. Such a sweet person, And once in 2000, I think it's 2001, if I'm not wrong, 2001 or 2002, when he was flying from US to India, he had to stay put in the UAE for 3-4 days extra due to some reasons. So he was almost about to leave. Then he came back from the airport and he has to stay here for 4 days. I'm not going to go into the technical details about that. But then when he stayed there, and I was so fortunate that he stayed with us in our house. And when he was there, he was immediately wanting to, open the floodgate of his mercy to all the wonderful congregational members. Maybe they are initiated, non-initiated, doesn't matter. He just wanted to go on every visit. But first he wanted to give a priority to the initiated devotee. So he said, okay, every day I want to visit at least 10 houses. I was so fortunate to perform as a servant, as a driver for him. So every day morning, we will go from house to house, and in every house there will be an arati, they will be offering special prasadam for him. These are all glorious days, I would say. So many houses he visited in Sharjah and Dubai on this 4 days visit or 4 days stay there. And he was just like the showering his mercy, endlessly. They were all so fortunate, so fortunate. And every time when we go in the market streets in the Gulf, he will just ask, what is this? What is that? So many things. And whenever there is any Islamic prayer time, he will ask everyone to tone down your volumes of your microphone and the mics and the speakers. And then he will say, don't make too much of it. There's a serious prayer going on. But this much of kind of a respect our Guru Maharaj is having towards other methods of prayers. It's not like, some fanatic kind of a person. No, he respects everybody. This is our Guru Maharaj. I mean, we can keep going on and on and on, but it's already 9:10. And I would like to, say thanks to once again for all the wonderful Vaishnavas and my God brothers and God sisters of Iskcon Seshadripuram, Bangalore, for giving me an opportunity to share at least, 1 or 2 few of my, personal experiences with Guru Maharaj. And I'm sorry if there has been anything I have told, something which is not acceptable. Kindly bear with me and forgive me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. Akshay Prabhu, over to you. Should you want to go on the next stage? It's up to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful session. So before I say something, if any devotee has any question, now is the time you can ask Prabhuji. Anything you have in mind, anything Prabhuji, whatever Prabhuji said, anything you have to ask in that.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for wonderfully describing your association with Guru Maharaj. Quick question, you said devotees always had this fortunate opportunity, because whenever the Guru Maharaj or any of the Vaishnavas travel, they take this break in Middle East and then travel either to the other continents or to the US or any of those places. So just wanted to understand, because there's a mixture there. What we understand that in Middle East is, they're extremes. Either they are devotees or they are, absolutely against. So how was Guru Maharaj preaching to those people who were not really very favorable in the Middle East, and especially in Sharjah, Dubai? Yes, there are quite a few, but Sharjah, Alain, and such places. So that's my question to you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. I mean, when you say preaching actually means, Prabhu, I'm sure everybody has got an understanding. One is a direct preaching, another one is an indirect preaching. So Guru Maharaj preaches through his disciples. He empowers his disciples. In Sharjah, there are so many wonderful empowered disciples of our Guru Maharaj who has gone to a large extent to preach house to house and in the form of Bhakti Vrikshas. And in Sharjah, at one point of time, there was a huge number of Bhakti Vrikshas. We had, I think, I'm talking about, this was in the early 2000. There was something like around 8 or 9 Bhakti Vrikshas at that point of time, even in Sharjah. I'm talking about nearly 20 years before. But now this is exponentially grown in a much, larger scale. So Guru Maharaj preaches to the people in Sharjah who are not really favorable through Bhakti Vriksha. So your answer is through Bhakti Vriksha. That is it. That is his very favorite methodology, because Guru Maharaj says that this is the easiest way how you can enter everyone's heart, everyone's house. As simple as that. And in Bhakti Vriksha, you don't call for a big pandal program, or you don't have a huge, speakers or mics, nothing like that. It's a question of 6, 7 families get together, and then one person. He functions as a facilitator, and he has been given proper guidelines by senior Vaishnavas, and then that's how you take forward, step by step. Yeah, Prabhu. So that's how Guru Maharaj preached in Sharjah, as well as in other Middle East, locations there. Actually, Sharjah was more not a problem. The more issues came in places like Kuwait and Qatar. And even that also was very, very efficiently broken by the arrangement of our Guru Maharaj, who was properly guiding us through this Bhakti Vriksha system. Okay, Prabhu? Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu, to a large extent. Just an extension of that question was, I understand in the Middle East, it's not a very open program. It's generally a closed door program. So when you invite people, newcomers to the program, or somebody who's not very favorable, but just for the relationship of the individuals, they come to attend the program. And then how would Guru Maharaj really relate to them, especially who are not devotees or who are just kind of beginners to know about Krishna consciousness?
Okay, thank you. I mean, that's once they are started their association with the disciples or senior devotees in the Bhakti Vriksha levels, what happens? At least Guru Maharaj, he will visit this Middle East locations at least nothing less than minimum twice in a year. But actually in Dubai and Sharjah, he visited more than that. Maybe 3-4 times in a year he will visit. So every time he visits down there, and all his disciples will arrange a massive programs in a hotel, like, in a 5-star hotel or something like that. We engage a major big halls, and which is properly restricted entry to only those who have been invited. And that's how Guru Maharaj addresses them, and he inspires them how to become devotees. So that's the way in which. So he does not have to be there on a day-to-day basis or month-to-month basis. Once in 3 months, once in 6 months, even he comes there. He's like a fire. He just comes and then he lights up the hearts of everybody. That's the speciality of our Guru Maharaj. Once anybody sees Guru Maharaj, that's it. When they listen to him, and they see how he's 100% dedicated in the service of Krishna, there is no chance anyone will escape from him. That's how he was able to generate so much of devotees in the Middle East. Like today, if you ask, in Dubai, Sharjah, Dubai and Sharjah, they are almost like twin cities, like what we have Hyderabad and Secunderabad here in Andhra. It's almost like, joined together, hardly any distance between them. But in today, if you see, we have more than 10,000 devotees there in this. This was possible because of, the frequent visits by Guru Maharaj. He just makes everybody. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hari Hari Bol.
10,000, very big number.
Yeah, if you see so many, many. I'm talking about this can be even less possibly. Maybe it can be more.
Yes. It's a very nice question, Uttam Damodar Prabhuji. I also got to know more about, Guru Maharaj also, and the impact, the power of our Bhakti Vriksha system. Because in our Iskcon Seshadripuram also, our base is this Bhakti Vriksha system. So, okay. Any other devotee, any other question? Any comments?
Actually, this Bhakti Vriksha is very close and dear to our Guru Maharaj. Just because one simple reason is in today's, it's not necessarily only in Middle East. Even in a place like your Bangalore or any other location in India, nowadays people are not having the comfort and time to travel all the way to a big temple. They're all far apart. Transportation is a problem, and so many other issues are there. They come back from work, and then everybody wants to just retire as quick as possible and do some kind of an entertainment activity, and that's it. So people, they do not want to take the extra mileage or the steps to go to a temple. So for such situation, Guru Maharaj, that's why he's recommending. Now, Bengal, it's been a massive hit. We all know about that. How in Bangladesh and in Bengal, there is the Bhakti Vriksha has become a super hit. And similarly, I understand that in Bangalore, Bhakti Vriksha is doing very, very well. I'm sorry, I'm not qualified to even speak about you Bangaloreans who are doing already, wonders for Guru Maharaj, where you have expanded so much through Bhakti Vriksha. So yeah, this is a wonderful thing. So Bhakti Vriksha is actually a key factor where everybody can be nurtured in a very nice way. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So I think no other devotee has any question.
All
Thank
right.
Sharing, yeah. So thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing, such wonderful pastimes of Guru Maharaj, and also talking about the Tattva aspect of it. So this is the first time I was hearing about the Savior Tattva. Before that, I was only aware about Vishnu Tattva, Guru Tattva, Shakti Tattva.
Yeah.
So for sharing that as well, and different moods of Guru Maharaj. So we would like to thank Prabhuji by
Thank you. My pleasure. And Hare Krishna. I beg all your mercy and prayers so that I can also have a little bit progress in spiritual service to my Guru Maharaj.
Prabhuji, we need your blessings so that we all devotees can also, do some service for Guru Maharaj for his pleasure. We can also, do Bhakti Riksha. So please bless us for that as well.
Come visit us in Bangalore, in Coimbatore. We are also in the process of, completing a new project, which is called as Kovai Chandra, where their Lordship Sri Radhakrishna is going to be, manifesting here very soon. And potentially we are talking about maximum 1 year period from today, and the whole temple will be up and open for darshan for everybody. And we have a wonderful congregation here who will be welcoming you and who can really, serve you as much as they can. So please welcome here, and whenever you have time in Coimbatore. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpadarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
So
Guru
let us
Maharaj ki jai. Gaur Premanand.
Jai.
Shall I sign out? Shall I
yes,
sign?
just 1 second. So we'll thank Prabhuji one time by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
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 Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Thank you
Hare
very
Krishna.
much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.